Hello. Uh, I'm sure you're all aware that this is the Health Week, and I have a guest uh, that will be. Hello. Hi.
Hello there, my friend.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm
I'm doing
good. Are
okay.
you? Yeah.
I'm doing
Could
okay.
you kindly introduce yourself briefly?
Yes. My name is Cleve Battick. I'm trained as a science teacher, but I also receive my professional training as well in environmental biology.
Okay.
And I've worked in for the last 20 odd years in science education in one form or the other. And for many years, I was the lead environmental steward at my workplace. Apart from my work in science and education and environmental, I also do write creatively.
Okay.
And I have a creative poem here on some aspects of the global topic that might
Mm.
interest us.
Mm. Now, I was just saying that this week was the Environment Week and all those things. Uh, uh, could you just expatiate on that?
Yes. So in around 1970, when it was obvious that the world was changing environmentally, the temperature was being observed by NASA and the World Meteorological Agency that the temperature of the world was increasing, and there was a lot of logging of forest, cutting down of forest, like in the Brazilian Amazon. It was noted that the weather systems were changing, climate were changing. So in about April 1970, some Americans started the first Earth Day on April 22.
Okay.
And it was geared towards
Mm.
showing how human beings, citizens, ordinary citizens, can be involved in day-to-day activities, culminating in that one particular day on Earth Day to do some activities that could contribute towards a healthy planet.
Okay.
And this,
I'm sorry because of our
yes,
time. Now, how can we as individuals contribute to the preservation of our environment?
yes, very good question. So the theme for this year's Earth Day, and a happy Earth Day and a meaningful Earth Day to everybody when it comes tomorrow, April 22. So the theme is our future, our present. So this theme of Earth Week is geared towards each individual working either.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
Yes.
think the theme is our power, our planet.
Oh, my apologies. My
Oh, okay.
apologies. Yes, you want us to start that over?
Oh no, no. Go on, go on, go on, go on,
Or
go
you
on.
will edit it. You'll edit it
Oh no,
appropriately.
no, go on, go
Yes,
on.
our power, our planet.
Yep.
Yes. So what individuals can do or in community to do simple things around the community. Plant trees. I know some communities tomorrow will be doing cleanup of the streets or of the parks. For many years, I had been involved in community action, cleaning up park or taking students to clean up the schoolyard or clean up the nearest forestry areas or the creek running nearby. Things like that we can do. Or reduce waste and litter. We can recycle. We have the bins at home. We could take very great care in ensuring that we put the designated materials in the bins. So the green bins in where we live, where you might live, could be for the compost, or if you have glass or metal or certain types of paper, it could be recycled. Okay, and anything else would go as waste. But this whole problem of waste going to the dump and creating havoc years later and releasing gases,
Okay,
greenhouse gases.
okay,
These will contribute to what we call global warming.
okay, we've talked about individuals. Now,
Yes,
how could communities,
yes.
maybe cities, villages, towns, and so on, contribute
Or yes.
to the cleaning or to renewal of environment?
Okay, so many cities since the 70s have developed programs to get their citizens involved. And since the 70s, we have now agencies that are called NGOs, non-governmental organizations. Many of these are environmental organizations. So you have government funding agencies that are not government but non-governmental, and I've worked with a number of them over the years. So we have these environmental non-governmental organizations that do carry out projects throughout the year, and also some of them are carrying out tomorrow. Cities like the one that we live in, say Brampton in Ontario, it has programs that encourage people to participate in activities when they are doing the cleanup of the creeks, or they are planting more trees in the conservation area. So these cities do have funds and programs, and they have newsletters to send out to the various homes to invite people. And people can go to these meetings and town hall and participate in these directly, hands, legs, and so on, or they might contribute to discussions.
Okay. Now, how can nation states contribute?
How could you repeat that?
Nation states, I mean countries.
Oh, nation states, yes. Yeah. Okay, so the state is very, very important. So the United Nations as a world organization have organized meetings called Conference of the Parties, COP, and each year they have been meeting at certain places and discuss the climate change in the world, and nations have been encouraged from the Paris Accord in 2015 to contribute a certain amount of money towards managing the climate change in their country. But even though they have 194 countries had agreed to all of that, not every country has been living up to to that.
Mm.
But some countries do make direct and definite plans to contribute funds either to the COP agenda or put money towards solving what is called, and it's a big political problem, the fuel charge. So the emissions, some countries have had that, and that is a big problem because many countries still don't believe that fossil fuels contribute to the global warming. But some countries, even recently, Canada, our own country, has had agreements with another country to get electric cars. Not this year, but it's in the plan. So
Okay.
working towards electric vehicles and encouraging solar energy. So different states or provinces, if they take up this government offer, they can encourage the people who buy into it to get some reduction in the cost. So when you contribute to solar energy in your house, you will not be using the fossil fuel, but you will be using sunlight, and it can pay back. In some instances, I hear about 10 years, you can get the payback. So alternative energy to fossil fuel, using electricity or solar or wind. So some countries have been doing that over many years.
Does nuclear energy, nuclear power,
Nuclear,
I
yes,
mean,
nuclear
I'm
energy and
sorry, I'm
nuclear
sorry, I'm
power.
sorry. I mean, does it affect the environment?
Okay, yes, it does affect the environment, but not if the mechanisms are put in place. So I did not include that at first, but would have included it later on. The nuclear energy is a clean energy if there is no nuclear explosion.
Hmm.
So we know that Chernobyl had occurred in the 1980s in then USSR, Ukraine in particular, and it caused a lot of damage and genetic changes and illness. But if there is no damage to the cooling systems, to the plant in the whole, it is very, very clean.
Hmm.
You, of course, if you're building, you will take down trees, but the operation of a clean nuclear plant will not affect the environment negatively. But just if there's any accident, as in Chernobyl. So for the recent war in between Russia and Ukraine, there is great concern not to destroy the nuclear facility. And there's also the concern about if any of the nuclear facilities in in Iran have been sufficiently damaged, to cause leaks and
Hmm.
therefore diseases.
That takes me to the next question. I mean, do all these uproars, conflicts in which arms and ammunition are used, I mean, what does that imply in terms of the environment?
Wars are harmful to the environment. If we look at what has happened to Gaza in recent months, Look at what has happened to Tehran, Beirut in even more recent time. Look at what has been happening to various cities in Ukraine. And there are the other conflicts that are going on. For instance, the humanitarian conflict in Sudan. And anywhere there is war, especially if it's extended, especially if missiles are dropped on various structures. Not only will it disrupt the economy because you'll have to start all over if you get the chance. So the economy is wiped out. And in instances, forest agricultural systems are not going to be always left out. Plus, there are leaks that will go into the waterway from any mines or such things that might be destroyed by the bombs. So not only will the land itself be destroyed and damaged, but the plants, the waterways, and then the atmosphere. So wars are not good. They do have a great toll on society. And
Okay.
that's why we should try
I'm
as
trying.
much
I'm
as
trying to
possible to
quicken
avoid
things up
war.
because you said you had
Yes,
only. You said
yes,
you only have 30 minutes. Now, what
yes.
about flooding, desertification, and so on, hunger? All those things. What impact do they have on the environment?
Did you say fluorine? Did you say fluorine?
No, I mean flooding. That is
Oh,
floods.
flooding. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Flooding,
flooding. Yeah. Okay. So,
desertification, hunger, and so on. What effect?
yes.
Because okay, now I'm talking of hunger because I think there was an East African country that said the elephants should be killed for food. I mean, sometime last year or so because of scarcity of food. So
Yes.
can you treat that?
Yes. So you see, with country, with the what is happening in the world now, the climate change, global warming,
Hmm.
because of the extensive use of fossil fuels, petroleum, diesel, liquid natural gas, especially. These have released gases into the atmosphere that have contributed to trapping the heat from the sun and causing the temperature to increase. When the temperature has been increased, especially since 1975, the temperature has been increased much more than any other period of time that has been recorded. And in recent times, 2024 has been the hottest year recorded. So when the temperature increase, plants, whether they be in the tropics or in the north, they will suffer. You'll have drought that can develop, and along with war, that will make it worse. When temperature in the north increase, you have the permafrost being melted. You have the icebergs being melted. So fishing will be disrupted because of flooding of the areas. Some coastal areas and low-lying states and cities will be affected by flooding. When
Now, okay,
you
I'm sorry. Then what about uh, uh, plastics and asbestos?
yes, okay, so our government in Canada one time recently has started to ban the use of single-use plastic, but because of political pressure, it had to be modified. But now we are being encouraged to use more hardy plastic that is reusable, and even to not use plastic, because plastic, when it is, say, the single use plastic, it's thrown out into the garbage. Plastic might take 700 to 1,000 years to be degraded. And when plastic goes in the river or in the ground, they will start to break down, yes, but they're not totally eliminated. And in many instances, fish and other animals in the sea and ocean have been killed because trying to see something that looks like food, it's plastic, and plastic is not digestible. So it affects these animals. So plastic will not only affect the fish, but will affect the plants, because when they are in the ground, they will block up the air spaces. So
I will ask
microplastics, as
you.
they call, are not
I will
good
ask
for the
you about
environment.
one issue, but then I will permit me to ask whether the population on Earth is more or less getting too much.
Getting too much of what?
Well, maybe that's why there's global warming and all those things.
No. Population of Earth is getting too much,
Yeah.
too warm.
No. Okay, now I can remember that. I mean, back home we used to have this long harmattan season and all those things. But then I mean, then I discovered that the harmattan was becoming shorter and all those things. Then I could remember that. I mean, the cities were becoming compacted. That is with population. So I don't know.
Yes. I'm not quite understanding. Can you repeat the first part of the question? I don't quite understand what
Okay,
you're
what
asking.
I'm saying is that is it maybe I'm asking you
Yes.
whether a large population, when you have a large population, you have human waste, uh,
Oh,
whatever, and all those things. Maybe
mhm.
that is even making
Oh,
global
I
warming.
see. I see. Okay. Yeah. All right. So on a on a whole, we've seen over the last 100 or so years that the world is not equal. You
Hmm.
have many countries to the north that have excess of food, but also many other countries in the global south, they have problems with food. And some
Hmm.
of these problems occur because of conflicts, of
Hmm.
wars.
Hmm.
So we see that the situation now in Sudan, the last report I heard, is that it might soon be a humanitarian crisis,
Hmm.
because the people there are almost starving, hardly any food. The situation in Gaza because of war. So if there is no war, then people can grow their crops. But because of wars and conflicts, food is going to be scarce, or you have price of food increasing, as has been increasing for the last year, and especially in the last couple of weeks with the war in Iran.
Hmm.
So whilst northern countries might still be good for them, many southern countries have problem, because, as said before, if the temperature changes, there's going to be drought,
Hmm.
and That's shortage of water. Crops don't reach productivity. The animals will decline because there's no food, there's not enough water. And so, with the overall increase of global warming and conflicts in the world, no, we're not sustainably looking after human society. Too much war, too
Okay.
much, too
Mm.
much runaway global warming.
Mm.
And that's why agencies around the world that will be operating, say, tomorrow, trying to encourage people to do backyard gardening to grow their food,
Mm.
to reduce waste, to recycle,
Okay.
and whatever can be done in at home to reduce waste or to cut down your grocery bill because you grow your tomato
Mm.
or you grow your thyme, then
Mm-hmm.
that is something useful. So governments that have been encouraging populations to do that are on the right track.
I'm
And
aware
individuals
that
who take up
I'm
are on
sorry.
the right track.
I'm sorry. I'm aware that oil spillage.
Yes.
I mean, where you have petroleum and all those things,
Mhm.
in most cases, when you have oil spillage, it destroys the water. The water in terms of maybe they are fishing, they are planting things and so on.
Mhm. Yeah. Oil spillage, as we've seen in many instances in the past, is not good. And it takes a long time to clean up. When oil that is being transported on the oceans spill for one reason or the other, whether it be war or whether it's an accident, oil does not mix with water.
Mm.
So oil floats on water.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
it means that the air that is coming from the atmosphere going into the water can no longer go there because of the barrier caused by the oil.
so
So
the
fish,
fishes
yeah,
will be
fish will
killed.
die.
Mm.
Fish will die. Ducks and other waterfowls, their feathers will be covered and trapped. They will die because they cannot get their feathers to
Mm.
expand.
Mm.
So
Mm.
oil spill, whether on land or on the oceans, is very bad for environmental health.
What about
And
reclamation? Reclamation.
reclamation
Yep.
of what?
Okay, like you have some places where people go to reclaim
Oh, the
the
land. Okay, okay,
yes.
all right. Yes. Well, that is a way in which many modern cities have been built up.
Mm-hmm.
Dubai, UAE, parts of Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
parts of Kingston, parts of New York, all over the world where you go,
Mm.
there are places where the land have been reclaimed. That is from the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Land have been reclaimed from the sea. A lot of engineering work will have to go into
Mm.
that. And it has to be managed sustainably over the years. Otherwise, the sea will start to reclaim it over a period of time. And I've seen where the sea has been reclaiming the land. So governments, municipalities have to be vigilant on that. And I've seen other areas like tourism areas, beaches. The sea has been gradually over years
Mm.
eroding the coastline
Mm.
and
Mm.
disrupting tourism there.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, good engineering work and mitigation management after that can help cities, countries to reclaim part of the ocean for development. But it has to be done in a sustainable way, maintained over time, and it can work for their good because lots of shipping facilities,
Okay.
beaches, have been developed along those areas. Hotels.
So what is your last word? I mean, for individuals.
My last word for individuals: have act locally and impact globally.
By
Act,
doing what?
locally, impact globally by doing the maxim: reduce, reuse, recycle, and refuse non-essential things. And you in your small corner, I in mine, can shine.
They used to say plant a tree maybe a day.
That's right. That's right. So some organizations tomorrow will be planting a tree, or later on, because this is Earth Week or Earth Month. So if it's not done tomorrow, or even throughout the year, because
Okay.
I've been involved in other
That's
activities
true. That is true.
that have planted trees throughout the year. And
So what advice do you have for governments?
government should live up to their COP agreements, the Conference of the Parties, that I mentioned, the Paris Agreement Accord. Live up to the COP agreement, recognize that what the environmentalists have been saying, it's not hogwash. If we continue to use fossil fuel like coal, gasoline, diesel, at the rate that we are doing, the temperatures on land will continue to increase, and we will have changes in weather, and it will continue to affect us. So government should encourage and invest in alternative sources of energy, such
And
as wind.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
maybe because we have or some people have alternatives. They are now trying to go to Mars and all those things. Maybe that's why we are nonchalant.
No, 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 no. No. The space exploration is still early days. We live on the planet Earth, which is the only one so far that we know that human beings can live, because there
Okay.
is oxygen, there is carbon dioxide, there is water, and there is soil. All those things that we know that cause life to be on Earth. So we've got to take good care of it. And of course, at the same time, as human beings, we want to explore to see what is there on the moon or on Mars, or if there's anywhere else, but Mars is distant away, and we're not certain yet that there is
That's true.
life.
That's
So
true.
we've got to make the best use of planet Earth. It's ours, so make the best use. The recent trip of Artemis to the moon environments have been done by not only USA and Canada, but by 50 odd other agencies that have been working on Artemis. So there's a lot of collaboration in going into space. The International Space Station is not only USA and Canada involved. You have many other countries that have been involved in the International Space Station. So you see, there is cooperation. Our human existence on planet Earth is one of cooperation. In my field of biology, we call it interdependence. And if you look at life in general, there is an interdependence dependence of relationships in the ecosystem. Human beings can't live by themselves. We need plants, we need microorganisms, we need water, we need sunlight. So all of these things will have to be there at any place out in space that we want to explore. But I think we should take care of our home first.
Thank you
There's a
so much.
saying that, you know, you take care of your home first because before you go into other people's
That's true.
business. And I
That's
think
true.
that is
Yeah.
what human beings, that is a challenge for us to look after Earth in a sustainable, cooperative manner.
Thank
And
you.
in my area of environmental biology, it shows you that it's a system of interrelationships. And I'm so glad that I've worked with the students and other people are working with students, because we need, as government and as citizens, to train the students, the children from early in environmental sustainability. The little child at home, you know, work with the child, how a seed is grown. When you have your garden growing out in the spring, let the little child go there with you and help to move some dirt and help you in one way or the other to plant or water. You know, these are the ways in which we teach the children, because they are the future. So government need to plan, parents need to plan. Invest in this children, invest for the future.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you so
Battick.
much,
Thank you.
my friend.
Yeah.
Have a good
You too.
evening and happy Earth Day, everyone.
Happy Earth Day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.